very loaded, and it can sometimes be confusing. Yes, I am aware of the broadside declarations, what you call the Sokomjinga governance. Unaamka asubuhi, you reach Sokomjinga, you are inspired by the people you see, you make declarations. This country has never been run through Sokomjinga declaration, except for a short while during the Moi era, where Maisy eating chapatis in kiosk, and big declarations that have far-reaching implications for generations are made. I thought that we are over those until what is going on. Uh, of course, the other issue is the rule of law, which I find problematic. This country's problem is not about the rule of law. The law is very clear. We know what needs to be done. Uh, the Africa peer review mechanism reviewed this country and said that assessing all our institutions, Kenya has all it takes to have a wonderful democracy. And the question they ask is, why are things not adding up? Why eventually did we end up having the 2007, 2008, impasse, or if you wish, crisis? Why are we where we are now, despite having one of the most liberal constitutions on planet Earth? Even the South African constitution does not get closer to ours. We have the best. Why are things not adding up? The issue is simple and square. It is about the quality of our leadership, the character of the men and women who are governing over us. And I hold them to account. Let anybody raise their hands and say that they are ruling, they have what it takes to be a leader of a noble country like this one. Uh, even the men of church or the men of faith have here. I think is what Degwa was saying, is that we need to go back to Chinua Achembe and ask what is the trouble with Nigeria, and the answer is clear. It is the trouble with Nigeria as the trouble with Kenya and any other African country, many other African countries, is simply and squarely a problem of leadership in this country. I know we have talked a lot, but he's within a league of leaders who have no integrity, leader who will speak from the two sides of the mouth at the same time. They claim nobility of character. They will even swear with all the oracles they know that they are doing what is right. They are serving the nationalistic values. They claim all the titles, Pan-Africanist, nationalist, and all that. But what they are simply doing is they are seeking for their pockets. There's nothing else they are doing. And I think where to begin to solve the problem of this country is to accept that we have the rule of law, because we have the law that is supposed to govern the rule. Two, we have all the systems of governance that you need to govern a country like Kenya. And that the problem is who we are. Those who are keen on history will recall the 18th of March, 2002. Mzee Moi stood up, anointed 8 men, I think, and said that these men are going to rule this country for 100 years. And he named them and gave them positions. Some were called chairmen, and others became secretary generals of then the almighty Kano. And from that date to date, we are reading under the legacy of that declaration. Yesterday, I am in ODM, today I'm in UDA, and tomorrow I'll be back with ODM as a partner. And this is the revolving door we are going through. Earlier on, listening to this debate, somebody was asking whether Maraga or maybe the Gen Zs are going to offer an alternative to this legacy of Mzee Moi. And I think that's not where to go. The issue is we need to insist on the nobility of the character of those who govern us. And unless we address governance in terms of the morality, the ethical and the a value-based kind of leadership that we need. I don't think we are going anywhere. The other problem related to that is that we have very short memory. The devils of yesterday are the angels of today in us, and the difference perhaps can even be months. It doesn't, and sometimes even days. We have such a short memory as a people. We don't value history. We don't value what it takes to maintain a character of our generation, and that is what is ailing us. I like studying the East, Japan, and and China particularly, uh, because at the base of their leadership is what we call an ethical code. And this ethical code is taught from the beginning to the end. That's what they call the Confucian ethos. And the Confucian ethos is not about the rule of law. It is not about the law men and women create to govern their relationship. It is the values and the morality that governs you. And the problem with this country, from the church to from the pulpit to the podium, from the classroom to the roadside, the problem is that we have that problem of morality. And morality, or a moral ethical leadership, is what we are missing. William Ruto knows the Constitution. He knows what he doesn't like about it, and he knows what he likes about it. He was one of those people who are fighting it. He was in the red when others were in the green. Raila Odinga was in the green. So we all know what this law is about and what we liked it about it, and what we like about it. We all passed it, and now it's our law. So they know the law. Let's not pretend that they don't know the law. But the point is, they want to turn their law to their advantage and to make public and private gains, not public gains. When you change SHA, from NHIF to SHA, the logic is not to help the people. We know that. The logic is to import new machines, introduce new systems, and pass new budgets that are going to make your war chest for the coming election. That's all, simple and clear. So time are gone when we introduced changes to our system in order to help our people and with our people in mind. This time we are doing things with our pockets, our private gains in mind. That's the problem. Unfortunately, we can see through this. But the problem is we can do nothing because we have not mobilized. They own the parties. William Ruto owns UDA. Raila Odinga owns ODM. Uhuru Kenyatta owns Jubilee. And others own the parties. And many others will, because they own the instruments that get you to power. So the point here is we have not adding up. They are adding up because called Upper Volta. Upper Volta, just looked at itself and found that it is a small country, but it can make big gains if it invested in the characters of its leaders. And that's how Thomas Sankara was born. Now, Thomas Sankara revolutionized that country, set a model of how to make their country big. He changed the name of the country from Upper Volta to Burkina Faso, and called his people Bukinabe, the upright men, the country of upright men and women. Now, to remind them every morning that you are supposed to be upright, his endeavor was to create a country that is of noble character. And when he did that, somehow he was assassinated. And that story is wrong, and we cannot tell it today. But many years later, in the same country, because good ideas never die, we have a new leader there who is doing what Thomas Sankara was doing. And even if the new leader goes, another one will rise, because countries are about character. They're not about laws. Laws will be changed, but good character never change. Kenya need to have men and women of upright character, people who don't lie, people who don't cheat, people who live a life of